Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you, I don't know, probably till around 5 o'clock. Till around 5 o'clock. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Oh, in case if you're watching this later, right now it is 3:07 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching this any other time, I'm not live. But at 3:07 Eastern Standard Time, I am live right now. And you can give me a call, 513-717-5464. The tradition is you come in, you say hi. That's really all I request. Come in, say hi, tell me where you're saying hi from. I'm in the city of Cincinnati. If you're in the city of Cincinnati, tell me what neighborhood or surrounding area you're from. If you're not from Cincinnati, tell me like what city you in. City and state. That would be nice. That's all I ask. Other than that, just sit back, relax, and listen, I guess. Watch, read the comments, whatever it is you want to do. Heck, you can even turn it off. Let's see, we got Tony. Let me put on the chat overlay here so people can see. Tony says, what's up? Miss Pittsburgh, good afternoon. Robert Willis from Anderson Township. What's up, Robert? Karen Dye Williams from the West Side. All right. Terry Coleman, E-Town. I'm gonna guess that's Evanston. I'm not from Evanston, so I've never heard it called E-Town. Terry says, good afternoon from downtown. All right. Miss Pittsburgh checking in from Pittsburgh. That makes sense. Bryant says pro se in the house. All right. David, Georgia, good afternoon. I want to say GA. I thought it was Georgia. Good afternoon. E-Man, Queen of Talk. She ain't no Queen of Talk. And afternoon experiment fam. All right. On the highway. Sabrina, good afternoon from North College Hill. Scott from West Walnut Hills. I still don't know what that means. Sierra, happy Friday Eve from Boston. Let me see. Vincent from Evendale. Good afternoon, Vincent. Robert from Western Hills. Brenda from Fairfield. It's kind of small over. I'm trying to look at the chat overlay. I'm going to have to move and look at the regular size stuff because everything is really tiny over there. Let me see. I said Brenda from Fairfield. Tony from Lincoln Heights. Angela from Zone 9. Danielle, Mount Healthy. Good afternoon. Diane, good afternoon from Covington. All right. Good afternoon, Covington. So we got, basically Cincinnati, some Boston. I keep thinking that was Georgia. No, that wasn't. And some Kentucky. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. I do have a couple of things that I want to discuss. Y'all know I get a little frustrated about certain things. Certain things frustrate me. But let me say, yesterday, I just had a ball yesterday with the little baby. That's it. I had a ball with the little baby. So I'm sorry I didn't make it in, but I wouldn't trade it. Brent says, good afternoon from Guam. All right. Guam in the house. Can't beat some Guam. Hold on a second. And what is this about you? About you being the queen of talk?
You told me it.
I didn't tell you was no queen of talk.
You was something else.
Huh? I am the king of talk.
Told you.
But what that got to do with you? And why are you pinching me? She would not talk. She do not like being on camera. Don says, good afternoon, Mount Auburn. All right. Yo Underwood, good afternoon from the JC. Seven says, what's up? What's up, Seven? Erica from Reading. All right. Was good and Reading. Anthony in the house. All right. There was a story, and I meant to trying to pull up the video. Again, I don't have time to do show prep. So I got to Google it right now. Police shooting. Man in critical condition after being shot by Fairfield Township Police. This is Fox. Come on, pull up the story. BCI investigating officer involved shooting in Fairfield Township. Okay, this is not the one. This is a different one. Oh, wait a minute. They followed him into the back of the house and subdued him. Police were not injured. I'm trying to find the video of the shooting.
Lawrenceburg is back.
Lawrenceburg is back, apparently. Trying to find a video of the shooting because I want to look at it. Because I am convinced. I got to look at it again. But I am convinced that the police did a good job. But I'm also convinced that they can do a good job more often. I believe they did a good job because this young man was a white man. I know that's going to make some people mad. You say because he white, they didn't kill him. And yeah. Let me see. They're not showing me. Police. Shoot man in the leg. Where is the video? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking for this video. And I saw the video yesterday.
Families want politicians to stop inflation and lower.
Yeah, I gotta mute the commercials. They're talking about Greg Landsman is down with late-term abortions. These political commercials is just wild. They wild. There is an actual video of the shooting of this man who got shot in the leg. If anybody can find the video where the police shot the man in the leg, I would appreciate it. Because there was a conversation. See, I believe they could do this a lot more often. And I know they've convinced us, like, no, they don't shoot for the leg. They don't shoot for the arm. They shoot center mass. And if you don't want to get killed by the police, then don't come at them with a weapon. And again, I would be down with that if I didn't see videos like this. Yeah, the one who killed his mother or stepmother or whatever she was. I mean, if I didn't see videos like this, then maybe I would be like, But it looked to me, and that's why I want to look at it again. It looked to me like the officer had the gun, pointed at the guy, and when the guy started charging, he intentionally pointed the gun down so as to shoot at the man's leg. Which we're told in our community over and over and over again. They can't do. This is not it.
An overnight shooting in East Price Hill. This happened on Woodlawn Avenue.
That's not it. Britt say, so now you want us to do your show prep and let you know.
Is your furnace prepared for a long, cold winter season? When you sign up for an Airtron Essential Home Kit.
My furnace is fine. Leonard says, yes, they didn't try to kill him. I saw the video also. I can't find the video, though, which is frustrating me. See, this is the kind of stuff, if I had like an hour before the show, I would have all of this stuff together. It would be ready. I would hit a button, boom, the video would be there, and, you know, we could all look at it. But bottom line is, I believe they intentionally shot that man in the leg. And then not just shot him in the leg, because, you know, that was some lucky shooting, right? But they handcuffed him afterwards. Not against that. But I noticed they wasn't really rough with him. If that make any sense, how you shoot somebody and you're not rough with him? They shot him. He goes down. They went over to him and they cuffed him. Like, man, yeah, that's what they do all the time. No. What they normally do, what I normally see, in particular when it's a black man, they put the knee on the back. They, you know, and like they jump on him and put your hands behind your back. Get him your hands. Put your hands. Stop resisting. They go bonkers. All right, hold on. See, I can't click on the link, but it's on WCPO. WCPO. I can't even get to WCP.
From company events to parties with friends to charity fundraisers to reunions, Rush Order Teas
Hold on, let me turn that down.
can make a shirt for any occasion. They're designed.
Now deputies work hold to the rich brother. 10 minutes of allegedly taking the order and stable. LWT News 5.
Come on. Y'all forgive me. I am looking for this video. And I can't click on the link for just the way that this system works. With Restream, I cannot click on the link. All right, come on. No. Oh my goodness, this is irritating. Yeah, I don't know how irritated I am. Good afternoon, Westchester. I see that. All right, here we go. I think this is it. Of course, they got commercials, and then I'm gonna have to do some finagling to put this on the screen. So y'all be patient. All right. Let's see. Let's take this out of here and show me that. Y'all don't know how little this is to me. I can barely see it. And put the sound on. And all right, let's see if this works. Let's look at this together. Hold on, I need to undo that. That helps me see it. Undo that. Y'all just don't understand this struggle. All right, let's see.
You got lethal. I got taser. Hey, it's coming at me.
Now stop. Look at the gun. See where he's aiming? That is not aiming center mass. And if I can back it up just a hair. He comes out. He comes charging. He is not aiming center mass. He is aiming down. He ain't backing up. He ain't running right now. He's aiming for that man's legs. He's aiming for the legs.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Now at 5, body camera footage of a Miami Township officer shooting and arresting a man.
Now he on the
accused of
ground.
A deadly stabbing. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm
And
Tanya
they wasn't
O'Rourke.
beating him down.
Joshua Ambergy because he threatened their life
let's
to
see.
drop his weapon, a large knife. All of this caught
He's
on
got a
police
knife.
body cam before officers made the tough decision to shoot. 2 gunshots from a detective and a taser discharge from the second officer. Only 1 gunshot hitting Ambergy in the leg.
When the subject closes the gap that we have, the safety gap
His officers were justified in
situation,
I think they were definitely
Chief Mills
justified.
why both officers did not have
the taser available to him, of that starts charging us.
in
But
his
I don't-
pocket.
I'm not seeing
Is in
the rest of the
stable
video,
condition
so
at
hold
UC
on.
Medical Center. He's
All right, let's go back here. I mean, I just know what I saw. I can't tell nobody else what they saw. But he done stabbed somebody. He's running at them with a knife, and they have the presence of mind. It's good officers. They have the presence of mind to shoot the man in the leg. And then, like, I didn't see it on that particular piece afterwards. They were very calm and gentle with him even. Put a tourniquet on his leg and all that stuff, but they wasn't piling on his leg, kneeing him in the back. Give me your hands, give me your hands. So this, all I'm really saying to say this is that the idea that, you know, when it's a black man and they almost empty their weapon into his chest, they didn't do that with this man with a knife charging at him. They didn't do that. Now I got what is it? I don't know what this name is. Y'all reaching. Y'all reaching. Different rules for different people. And that's what I saw. That's what I saw. Now, y'all know, I kind of brought it up a little earlier. And of course, got the response, how do you know he wasn't shooting for his mid butt? How do you know he was shooting for the leg? Come on. We can see the video. We can see the video. It's clear. He was not shooting center mass. He was not trying to shoot center mass. Or is it, am I the only one that saw that when I looked at the video? Did it look to you? Because maybe whoever this person is who says we're reaching, John, maybe John is right. Maybe we're reaching. Maybe I'm reaching. Did it look to anybody else like he was trying to shoot center mass? Now, my understanding is what? He's still in critical condition. Well, he might die. He might die. But just looking at where that guy was aiming, he wasn't trying to put 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds in that man's chest. And before I even saw the video, and they said, I read a story that said it was a man in, I guess, Claremont County. I don't know why I thought it was Fairfield. In Claremont County, there was a man in Claremont County who had stabbed somebody. Police showed up and ended up shooting him in the leg and arresting him. I said, oh, that was a white man all day. That was a white man. I knew it was. But we're told all of that shooting people in the arm and shooting people in the leg and shooting people in the hand, all of that is just TV stuff. It's just stuff that you see on TV. That stuff don't happen in real life. But we just saw it happen in real life. We saw, I would consider, just based on that, I don't know this officer's history. I don't know his name. I don't know this officer's history or anything like that. But just based on that, that was some good policing right there. You had a right to shoot him. He charging at you with a knife. But you ain't got to kill him. And you can't convince me that that's not what went through that officer's mind. He didn't perceive that guy as an animal that needed to be put down. Some superhuman being that could take 5 shots and still come at him. He didn't perceive any of that. He says, oh, so there's a man, a human, just like me, with a knife. How many times has Julie, Scotty, Cecil, and other officers got on buzz and said they aren't trained to aim for the arm or leg? And I believe that. I believe they're not trained to do it. But I believe that humanity kicks in sometimes when you see the person as human, as opposed to seeing the person as this big brute animal that needs to be put down. We saw our dear brother with the brick, Lorenzo Collins, I believe, shot down, and he was not charging. I don't really have much to say about it, except what is clear to a whole lot of people, maybe not as clear to some others. There's a difference between the way that law enforcement treats black people and white people sometimes. Most times. I won't say all the time, but most times. There's a difference. There's a difference. And look, this is what I would like to see on the record. So I'm not like, no, put 6 in his chest, or put 12 in his chest, or put 66 bullets in him. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I like that. I like what they did. Well, I mean, I like it, in terms of they wasn't going for the kill. They legit wanted to stop the threat. And that's what they did. Now, he might end up dying. Timothy Thomas was running away from Roach. I'm still trying to figure out how someone is a threat to me if they're running away from me. Well, they'll tell you, just because he's running away don't mean he can't turn around and shoot you. I thought that was some good police work, and that's the way I prefer to see things done when possible. When possible. Even with black people. That's what I would prefer to see done. So that's that. Also, the speed traffic safety blitz thing is over. They've released some data. Apparently, they have not released some other data. I keep asking because I want to see. I guess I have to put in a public records request. I want to see the breakdown. I want to see, because they said some people they just gave a warning to. Some people just got a warning. Some people got tickets. Some people, I guess if you're driving with, suspended license or whatever. And hold on, why is that so amazing to people that there are people running around driving with suspended license? Let me say, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. If your license is suspended or some other way not valid, you shouldn't be driving. But some of that really is, people are going to say I'm making excuses. And I want to put it in a way that don't sound like I'm making excuses, but it really is just the truth. If you got money, and I'm not even necessarily talking about rich. If you got money, you can typically afford to keep your insurance valid. If you get a ticket or something like that, you can typically afford to pay it. And for a whole lot of people, that's why their driver's license gets suspended. Basically because they're poor. I know they shouldn't be driving. We covered that. Don't do it. But sometimes the reason why is because they're poor and they can't afford to keep up the car insurance. But they still got to go to work because they still got to eat and feed their family, feed the kids and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just catch the bus. I guess they could, but, I'm not saying that they're totally in the right. But I'm saying some of this is because they're poor. And some poor people, I have to be transparent, a long time ago. And try to think, was I working for the bus? I think I was working for the bus. At least on one of these occasions, I was working for the bus. And I couldn't afford insurance. But I had to get to work. So the kids got to eat. I could barely afford the gas. I couldn't afford the insurance. I could barely afford the food. I could barely afford what it took for a family. Had to sacrifice something. I figured I'm an excellent driver. So I did not renew my car insurance. I got pulled over for no infraction. He said, I can't remember what he said. But I didn't get a ticket for anything, like I wasn't speeding or anything like that. And I didn't have no insurance. My driver's license got suspended. What was I going to do? Not go to work? I was going to catch the bus from Fairfield downtown. That wasn't going to happen. So what did I do? I drove to work. And drove until I got pulled over again. Now, I think at one point my license was suspended for, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, 5 years. So I think my license was suspended for a year because they kept pulling me over. So I think my license was suspended for like a year. And then I was still driving because I had to get to work. And then I made it through the year. And then I had to get a SR22 and all of that stuff and get back on track. And about that time, I had got a couple of raises, and so I was able to afford it. That happened a few times. Of course, the point is, it's not always just some evil people running around here driving, just being dangerous and don't care about sometimes you don't make enough money. So when I hear, it was 100 and something people who got pulled over and they didn't have no driver's license, their license was suspended, more than likely. I would guess 75% of those people who didn't have driver's license probably had gotten suspended, and probably for not having insurance, which again is bad. It's bad. You should have insurance. I'm not trying to tell you not to have insurance. I'm not trying to tell you drive around without insurance and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to tell you that. But when you hear things like that, and then people blow it up, I can't believe they driving without black people ain't driving. Maybe they can't afford insurance, which is it's not good. Again, that's not really an excuse. It's just more of a reason to kind of give a little bit of context. Little bit of context. Because we judge people based on stuff like that. Driving around with no hands. He can't afford, but then at the same time, he can't afford to not drive. So all of that kind of stuff happens. But I want to see the racial breakdown on this. I would imagine if they gave people tickets, they were probably speeding. Whether or not it was. I've told this story before. I got a ticket for going 35 and a 25 and I remember pointing for the police officer, like, look, right there, had to be maybe 200 feet away. Right there, what does that say? He said, it says speed limit 35. I said, but you giving me a ticket. He said, well, speed limit 35 begins right there, not right here. If I look up and I see a speed limit sign that says 35, I'm thinking, if it's in my vision, I should be able to do 35. But that's the last speeding ticket that I've gotten, and that was close to 20 years ago. But I'm saying, I'm going to assume all of these speeding tickets that they gave during this blitz were valid. And they cut some people some slack. I really am curious to see who they cut slack to. I really am curious. And it might be, they cut slack to a lot of people who, car was kind of not the best looking car. And, maybe the officers was thinking, look, the point ain't to hem people up. The point is to get people to slow down. And so maybe if we cut them some slack, then, they'll slow down and maybe they can't afford a ticket. My gut tells me that probably wasn't the case. In my mind, I'm saying all this stuff because I know I got some slight issues, but in my mind, police are kind of selective about who they give tickets to. And if you are, say an older white guy in a really nice car and you speeding, there's a chance you might not get that ticket. If you're a black guy in a nice car, there's a chance you might get that ticket. If you drive a not so hot looking car and you're speeding, there's a good chance, white or black, that you're going to get that ticket. And if you drive a broke down car, there's a really good chance you're going to get that ticket. Janice says, so those of us who do follow the rules end up paying the price for those who don't. They hit your car and you have to pay for it. And that's bad. That's bad. And Janice, again, I'm not saying it's good to be driving around without insurance. I'm not saying that at all. I was wrong when I did it. I'm just saying it kind of is it's difficult for people with very limited income, but who still got to get out there and support their family. Like for some reason, we can understand seniors who have to choose between taking their medicine and eating. And we don't look at them and say, well, then just don't do something else. No, we understand they don't have no money. And so sometimes things get so tight that they have to make some horrible decisions that nobody should ever have to make. We understand that. But we don't understand other people who don't have money, who still got to get where they got to get. And they got a car. Are they going to drive it? Again, I'm not saying they shouldn't get a ticket. I'm not saying their license shouldn't be suspended. I'm just saying it's not this huge, shocking thing, or at least it shouldn't be, that there were people driving around without insurance. And I would argue those people are probably poor people. Those people are probably poor people. Myosha says, I can't lie. I've talked my way out of a few tickets. My boobs have helped me get out of a ticket once. Okay. Ben says, I'm not capping for police, but all my warnings came from white cops. Black cops have treated me like crap. I believe that. There is, for some black law enforcement, I mean, we all know this. For some black law enforcement, I think they feel like they have to prove, I don't know if they're trying to prove it to them, to their coworkers, or to you, that they're more cop than any other cop. And so they go overboard. That happens. It's not all black officers, but it happens with some. At the same time, there's some white officers who, do the same thing. And ego is a thing. Just people have egos. And you give certain people power. We talked about it the other day. You give certain people power, and what's the term? It goes to their head. It's a human condition. Some people just can't handle power. As humans, some of us just can't handle power. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. But no, Janice, I don't think it's right. I'm just kind of trying to explain that it happens. Just trying to explain that it happens. And I don't necessarily hate the people who have to make such a horrible decision. I wish they didn't have to make that decision. I mean, if you really think about it, most people, if they could afford to do the things that they do and have insurance, they would have insurance. Most people would just, okay, let me get this insurance. And I always hear women talking about their breasts getting them out of tickets. I never believe that. I don't understand even the mindset. And look, I like titties as much as the next guy. But I'm pulling you over You were speeding. Ooh, titties. Okay, go home. Like what? How does that benefit me? You showing them to me? You whipping them out? Boing, yoing, 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 yoing. Maybe. Was that the case? They just sitting there. That's not helping me none. Am I getting a date or something? That's illegal. I think it's illegal to like let you off because I think I might get a date. I think women probably, if he really didn't intend on giving you a ticket, you don't get a ticket. If he did, you probably do. But just, ooh, I've got big breasts, so I'm not going to get a ticket. I don't know that happens. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? My breast got me. What did you do with him to get him out the ticket? Because you know if the police officer said, if you show me your nipple, then I won't give you a ticket. That's, oh man, he in all kind of trouble. I don't believe that, well, hold on. Are you calling me a liar? No, I'm asking you, did you whip him out? Did you whip him out? Boing, yoing, 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 yoing. All right. Go and speed no more. What? How did that work? How did that work? What did he say to you? You know, I was going to give you a ticket, but them titties look so good. You can just go on about your bed. How do you know? How do you know it was because of that? I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm just saying. He was a sucker for cleavage. But how do you know? How do you know? Look, I've been let off of a ticket before. It's happened. I've been let off of a ticket before. But I wasn't like, oh, it's because my boy is so big. Like that woman officer came up and, oh, my boy was so big, she just let me off. No. For all I know, that could be the case. But how would I know that? Unless she said, you know, I was going to give you a ticket, but you're looking pretty good in them jeans. How would I know that? Okay, here's the story. I was coming from the club. I had on a top that accentuated the girls. He spoke directly to them and didn't look me in my eyes, so that made me think it was all about, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. I've never understood women like, don't look down here, look up here. Like, what? I can look wherever the hell I want to look. And if you didn't want me to look at the girls, then don't showcase them. But if you showcasing the girls, I'm trying to not look down. Don't 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 look down. No. They right there. Like you said, you're accentuating them. They are the star of the show. I'm looking. Like, hey, you know you was speeding? I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna give you a warning. But slow down. All right. That don't mean that I let you off because I looked at him. That's not what that means. I'm just saying. I think it's imagined. To a degree, I think it's imagined. Again, how do you know? I have never told a man not to look at them because, you know, in my younger days, these things was always out. What? What the hell? What? Too bad I had my daughter with me, or I would have definitely popped a button or 4. Oh my goodness. I'm certain it happens. Like, there are, if different people do get different levels of privilege. Just not sure exactly how you can state that for a fact, that that's why you got the warning. So why did I get all my warnings? I've gotten a few warnings. Why did I get my warnings? I don't have no girls to, well, I kind of got some girls now, but back in the day, I didn't have no girls to, why did I get my warnings? I mean, my boy do hang a little low. So, maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. I'ma just own that. Every woman police officer that's ever pulled me over or interacted with me and I didn't get in trouble is because my boy is meaty and weighty. All right. It did take a bad turn. I don't know what happened. There was something else that I wanted to discuss. Some men do get weak in the knees over a pretty face, big girls, big, and a smile. Okay. It does happen. It does happen. But again, to say that and just be like, hey, this is why I didn't get this ticket. I think that, that's a little patting yourself on the back. That's a little patting yourself on the back. So you out here walking with a limp. All I'm going to say about that, and this is all I'm going to say about it, is Lincoln always asks me, why do you walk so funny? You walk like you limping or something. He used to ask me that all the time. I told him, don't worry about it. That is a 100% true anecdote. Let's see. What else is going on out here? Voting. We are coming up. Look, I don't vote until election day. I like going to the poll and showing them my little ID, signing out. I like all the little digital stuff now. I always do. It's not coronavirus. The little machine that I vote at, that's all electronic, while y'all all standing there filling out squares. I don't do it. E-slate is what it used to be called. It's not E-slate anymore. But I always walk in. I always tell them I want to vote on the E-slate. They still know what I mean when I say it, but I point to the little handicap machine. I always tell them that. I want to vote on the E-slate. Then they go scrambling because nobody ever really know how to do it. How do we do this? Do we give him a ballot? Does he not get a ballot? How do we sign into this? Like, they never know. And I had one day, one election cycle, not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 election cycles ago, the guy who was there, he was like, look, will you please just vote the convention away? Because we don't know how to do it. It's going to take us forever to figure it out. The line is backing up. Will you please vote? If you say no, we'll take the time and we'll figure it out. But if you could find it in your heart, will you please vote the convention away? And I promise the next time you come, I'll know how to work the whatever it's called now. Well, at that time, it was still E-slate, and I'll know how to work the E-slate. All right, cool. I'll do that. And that was what I did that time. Next time, he wasn't there. They didn't know how to do it. They didn't ask me, will you vote? They didn't give me the whole speech like he did. But they were like, well, we're not sure how to do this. And I told them, I said, I need y'all to figure it out. Because what if somebody come in here who actually needs to use it? Y'all should know how to do it. And then the lady who was there was a black lady. And she was like, you're right. You're right. Because somebody blind could come in. Because it's, you know, you can put on headphones and it reads all the text for you and all of that kind of stuff. And she was like, somebody blind might come in here and need it. You're right. We're going to figure it out. But if you don't mind just waiting until we figure it out. It's like, I don't mind waiting. I'll stand off to the side and, you know, let all these people go and y'all figure it out as y'all figure it out. And they did. They figured it out and I voted. I love voting on the little machine. I'm telling you should try it. I think if you try it, you'll never go back. I love voting on the machine. So yeah, I'm not an early vote. I voted early, I think once. The excitement just wasn't there for me. And I know it's not about excitement, but the excitement just wasn't there for me. I like walking in on election day saying, here's my vote, and then not taking that sticker. I like that. So look, if you're a non-voter, here's what I always suggest to the non-voters, and it's just a suggestion. I don't judge people who don't vote. I don't judge people who don't vote. I'm not one of those. I believe you got a right to vote, but you also got a right to not vote. You also got a right to not vote. So I don't judge you, but I suggest you vote for a few reasons. Number one, register to vote, because then that way you can be on a jury. Until they change that and do it by driver's licenses, which I don't know that'll ever happen here in Hamilton County. Until they change that and do the driver's license thing, register to vote, because then that way, at least you got a chance to be on a jury. It's never happened for me, but I'm still believing. Number two, you get a say in what goes on. Like your voice, your vote is there. It's counted. And you can't minimize the idea that your one vote and his one vote and her one vote and their votes count up and make up potentially the difference in the election. But then if you're like, I don't believe that my vote counts, I'm like, okay, you don't believe your vote count, then that's cool. Do it anyway. If you don't believe it count, what does it hurt? If they not gonna count your vote and they not gonna count my vote and they done already made up their mind what they gonna do, how could it hurt to vote? Just on the off chance that maybe it'll count. But even if it don't, it didn't hurt you at all. You spent, 5-10 minutes maybe? Around here, anyway, at least where I go to vote. Around here, typically I just walk right in, walk right up, sign the thing, and go to my machine once they figure it out and vote. No wait. But even if you got to just wait and didn't do the vote, how do it hurt you? And it actually might make a difference. So I encourage people to get out and vote. But I don't judge you if you don't. I mean, if you're, you feel like you're not a Jericho person or whatever the terminology was that I was hearing the other day, I guess you got a right to not do it. But I suggest you do. I suggest you do. Every election is the most important election in our lifetime. And there's some logic to that. There's some logic to that. R. Wash says, why don't you wear your sticker? Well, it's not my sticker because I don't take it. And I don't take it because I don't want it. I don't typically just walk around with stickers on me. I'm not a little kid. The little baby likes stickers. She likes stickers. She'll put them on. She'll put them on her head, the whole nine. She like them. I don't like them, so I don't take them. I'm not hurting nobody. I voted. I know I voted. I don't need you to know I voted. I know I voted. Nat says, come out of her, my people. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Daryl says, black people are picked to be on juries. I've been selected twice to be on a jury and never actually got to be on trial. Both times was a big waste of time to sit down there all day and never be on the jury pool. Well, I didn't say black people aren't picked. There are some black people who are picked. When you were down there, what was the ratio of black to white people? What was the ratio? Oh, he meant are not. Okay, my bad. So I get you. You said black people are not picked to be on juries. Myosha says, I've never been picked. I've never gotten a summons. If I looked in the mail, that's the little baby's job. Little baby job is check the mail. That's her job. And if she came back and she said, grandfather, which she does, is this you? And I say, yeah, that's me. And if I looked and opened it up and it was a summons for jury duty, do you know how excited I would be? Do you know how excited I would be? I would be so excited. Like, I get to go participate in the system, give somebody a fair shot, and make the prosecution prove their case. I'm assuming I'm going to be on a high-profile case that's very important. But either way, whatever, they got to prove the case. In my mind, I've created like whole scenarios. Like I'm in the jury room, just like on TV, and everybody voting, and we putting votes on papers, and it's 11-1 me for not guilty, and it's some older white people mad at me, and I'm like, sit your fat ass down. I'm not intimidated by you. Then let me explain to you why I'm voting not guilty. And I lay it all out. They didn't prove the case. Okay, so you tell me, and I got all my little questions for them to prove the case. Well, you can just assume that. No, you're not supposed to assume facts that are not in evidence. Why are you assuming stuff? Hold on, I need to talk to the judge. Your Honor, they back here assuming facts that are not in evidence. Are you allowed to do that? And then the old white judge is like, oh, I don't think it's that big of a deal if people just assume. I don't know why he shake his head like that. But in my mind, it's okay to make reasonable assumptions. And I'm like, it's not a reasonable assumption. It's a fact that needed to be proven. There's like an entire scenario where I let somebody who didn't do something wrong, or at least it wasn't proven that they did it wrong, I'm the reason why they don't go to jail. Or I'm the reason why they do, because there was clear proof. I don't know, in my mind, I would be so happy. I get to go be a part of the process. I don't know why the old judge shake his head like that with his jaws. I had to shake it so my jaws move. In my mind, that's how he does it. R. Wash says you wouldn't make it past jury selection process the way you think. That's probably true. Because in my mind, they would ask me, can you, fairly judge just based on the facts? And I would be like, yes, I can. Based on facts, I can judge. And they would be like, Your Honor, we want to use one of our challenges. In my mind, that's exactly, R. Wash, that's exactly what would happen. Because I really don't think they want people who think like me. Somebody who gonna look at the information that's presented. Not assume anything that's not presented. Well, if he said that, then it's safe to assume that he would do that. No, it's not. They never entered that into evidence, so you can't make that assumption. We're supposed to look at the evidence and then decide based on evidence, not based on your assumptions and presumptions and all that kind of stuff. I probably would not get on a jury. But I was sure enough be excited about getting the summons. You got to lie during the jury selection so you can get on the jury. See, I think what will happen, I need to go in and pretend to be stupid. Pretend to be stupid. I'm going to have to study some stupid people. I feel like I need to go in because that's who they want on juries. Stupid black people and weak black people. Black people who they can manipulate and get you to do what they want you to do, or who are, just not that bright. That's who they want on juries. GC says she got hers. Hold on, GC, I saw it. She got her summons for jury duty November 21st. That sounds so exciting. Crystal says, I received a summons and had to report and sit down there for 1 week. I didn't get selected to serve on a case. I'm all right with that. I would be all right with that. Kind of effectively unemployed anyway, so what the heck? Denise Divine says, I've been picked twice to be on a jury. So you sat on 2 separate juries and heard 2 different cases, Denise? Terrence says, you can study me, I'm dumb. Somebody say, study Hershey Walker. But what would I need to say to actually be on the jury? Like, what do they say? I don't believe that no man can judge no other man. But if you put me on the jury, then, I can make a decision. That's I don't know. Denise says, yes, sat on 2 separate cases. All right, that's exciting. That's exciting. I have worked with the police before, and I believe that the police do a good job. That's what I believe, but, I do believe that sometimes the police might do something wrong. I could sit on the jury and I could make a decision. I sure could. Decent? Is that okay? Your dumb man voice really sounded like a dumb man. Good job. I don't want to overdo it because then, you got to talk like that the whole time. So I can't be, doing, what is it called? Voir dire or whatever. I can't be, I'm not sure what to say, and I don't know for sure if he did it or if he didn't. But I listen and I make a decision. And then be back in the jury room like, no, that's not logical. They didn't present that as evidence, and it would be wrong, illegal, antithetical to the process. For you to maybe like, wasn't you the one out there talking about? I be doing that with it. So I had to figure out a way I could slip into my, I don't know. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. If I ever get chosen, for jury duty, I got to bring my voice down. Talk from the low end of my voice. And I have to definitely not enunciate. Don't enunciate. And not move my lips and my tongue all that much. And say, no, Judge, I could make a decision. You know what I'm saying? I if they prove their case, then they prove their case. You know what I'm saying? I do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to say, you know what I'm saying, a lot. And you know what I'm saying is all one word. You know what I'm saying? I'll work on it. TC says, I would just want to be on jury duty for the food. I was not even aware that was a thing. Just being on jury duty for the food. I really would. I would like to be on jury duty. But that's why one of the things that I try to tell people when I run into them and they're like, I don't vote. I'm like, hey, even if you don't actually vote, you should make sure that you're registered. And then that way, at least you got a shot of being on a jury. Because to me, that's voting is what it is, and this is going to sound like I don't mean everything that I said earlier, but my one vote, how much of a difference is that going to make? Like if everybody else voted that's going to vote except me, unless the person wins or loses by one vote, but sitting on that jury. Now, look, again, I understand that my one vote, with your one vote, with her one vote, with his one vote, it all add up. So the votes do still count. But even if you don't believe it, that jury duty is 12 people, depending on the case. Supposed to be unanimous, depending on the case. Your one vote in that case can make all the difference in the world, at least for that moment. Because chances are if it's 11-1, they're going to declare a mistrial, and then you're going to get tried again, and then I'm not going to be on that jury. They're going to probably make sure that they don't get no black people on the jury like that last end tricked us. We thought he was dumb. And he was just a little dumb, but we thought he was really dumb. And he was just smart enough to say not guilty. No more ends on the jury. But I bought you some time. What else? There was something else. I'm definitely no on one. And I have to admit, I talked to Cecil Thomas. Y'all know he called in. And I was no on one. But I wasn't as solid a no on one as I became. I've been listening to 700. Y'all know I like talk. So I listened to Lincoln. I listened to Sloan. I would not call that grown man Sloaney. I listened to Scott Sloan on the way coming back from my gig. I listened to Cunningham. And a week or so ago, Dan Carroll was in there. I'm not convinced that dude is not a raging racist. But I listened to the rhetoric that they are putting out there. And it just shocks me that people fall for that. Like I was listening and Dieters was on there today talking about voting for judges and all of that kind of stuff. And he had this one little case that he was using to make his point. Dan Hills was on there yesterday. And he had this one case to prove his point. And I'm just like, oh my God, if people are listening to this and believing these people, which I know they are, people are listening to these people, these what I perceive as uber racist people, spin they, if you are inclined to believe that school of thought, they're really good at spinning it. Now, if you called in and used one case of one bad cop to make the point about cops, they would shout you down and they would tell you one bad apple and 99.9% of cops are good and all that kind of stuff. But they can pull out one case, make it sound like the worst case ever, and spin that point, and those people eat it up. And then somebody even text Cunningham when Dieters was on, and he was talking about this case, and they were like, well, but did the prosecution put in their motions at the last minute? And by the silence, I could tell, yeah, they waited to the last minute to put in their motions, which is a good portion of why they lost. And instead of saying, well, yeah, we put our motions in at the last minute and that might not have been the best thing, he was like, well, but it shouldn't matter, even if we did, and this shouldn't matter, and this shouldn't matter. And he had 100 excuses for why it was okay. Just like yesterday when Dan Hills was on. And they were talking about some racist police officer who's been labeled, he says labeled as a racist because of the reason why he's running people's tags. And he says, well, they say that he didn't have any race neutral reason to run tags. But some cars have card readers and it just reads tags all the time. And blah, 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 and went on about these card readers. And of course, I'm thinking, what they got to do with this guy who wasn't using a card reader, who apparently only ran this guy's tags because he was black? They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. But they don't, and there's a way, well, you know, y'all know. If you ever watched Fox News for 10 minutes, listen to 700 for 10 minutes, you know the deal. But they going like super hard. And until they really started going, I heard them going super hard for issue 1. I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely against it now. Because what they're saying just doesn't make sense. What they're saying doesn't make sense. Leonard says, you don't say anything. You just fill out a questionnaire. You can't have any prior dealings with the case. You get assigned. Example, you had knee surgery. You couldn't sit on a malpractice case. Well, again, I've never been a jury, been selected for a jury. So in my mind, it works like on TV. And, you know, like I saw in the Judge Hunter case where they're asking people if they can, you know, put certain things aside and still rule fairly. Like I've legit seen judges, and I'm not talking about on TV per se, even though it was on the news, but I've seen judges talk about the fact that that's not true. I sat in a jury trial and I heard the judge asking, I forgot I sat in that Nate, my brother, had a jury trial, and I was there. And the judge actually asked the people, can you sit aside, whatever, and judge this case based on its merit or whatever terminology he used, and they actually had to speak and say yes or no, and they dismissed some jurors, and the prosecution was trying to get rid of all of the black ones, and so Ken Lawson, who was his attorney at the time, objected, and then they went in the back and they had this long conversation, and then he came back out, and yeah. So no, sometimes you actually say stuff. Sometimes you do actually say stuff. I saw that with my own eyes. Yeah, I saw that with my own eyes. So maybe for you, you didn't have to say anything. But some people do. Some people do. But no, I don't really have much else. I can't think of, there was one other thing that I wanted to discuss, but I can't think of what it is. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the computer because I thought maybe I could find it real quick. But I can't think of what it is. But Mayosha says, not that I was voting for him anyway, but I'm really not voting for Smitherman since Dieters is endorsing him. They do. They all, when they have these guests on, they all are making a point of saying, vote for Smitherman. Yes, and vote for Smitherman. And so, yeah, if Dieters is endorsing you, and Dan Hills is endorsing you, and Dan Carroll is telling people to vote for you, and Cunningham is telling people to vote for you, that's a sign to me that you probably shouldn't vote for that person. If you are a believer in, justice and humanity and what's right. Anthony says, yeah, they ask that kind of stuff. Also want to know about your dealings with law enforcement or out family and friends dealings. But yeah, they are on that side. They're pushing Smitherman, they're pushing Smitherman really hard. And I have to be honest, I'm concerned. I'm not privy to any polling, but I'm concerned. I feel like, this is going to sound like me being critical, but I feel like Stephanie Summerall Dumas has not done a really good job of being out for the past, how many years is that term? How many years has it been? Has it been 4? I don't feel like she's been out there enough. I don't feel like, and when I say been out there, again, I like radio, but I watch the news too. I'm not all over the community, probably like I should be. But I know that, let's just take Alicia Reese, for example. Alicia Reese gonna be out there. You gonna know what Alicia Reese is doing, because she gonna say it. She gonna say it. She gonna make you think that she been fighting the hardest fight ever in the history of fights. She gonna lay it out for you. There's gonna be no doubt Alicia Reese is on the commission and she is working. Whether you agree with her, whether you don't agree with her, she's on the commission and she is working. You're gonna be at an event. I can't think of a community event that I've been to that Alicia Reese didn't show up and show her face. She put in the work. She puts in the work. Again, whether you agree with her or not, you know her and you know her name. You know she's on the commission and you know she is working. Commissioner Dumas, not so much. Not so much. Commissioner Dumas, you like, Are you there? You might be down there putting in all the work. But as I told Yvette Simpson this some years ago, and you know, Yvette, I love Yvette Simpson. That's how far I'll go. I love Yvette Simpson. My radio wife. It's a long story behind that. I love Yvette Simpson, but I remember telling Yvette, you need to be calling Lincoln every week. You need to be calling the other stations every week. You need to be out at every community thing. I think she was out at every community thing. But you need to be out, being seen and heard on a regular basis. Because for some people, that's how they judge whether or not you're, and I'm just being honest, name recognition, people still vote just based on name recognition. I see her out and about. I know her name. I know she on council. I'm voting for her. People still do that. So you got to do that. I've been concerned for a long time that Commissioner Dumas does not do that. And when I was at the radio station, I tried to be because look, here's the truth. Here's the truth. Alicia and Lincoln have a long history. Alicia Reese and Lincoln Ware have a long history. So Alicia Reese knows when I want to get a message across, I can call the Lincoln Ware show. I'm going to jump to the front of the line, and I'm going to be given all the time in the world to say what I want to say. She knows this. And so she takes advantage of it. That's not a shot. It's not negative. It just is what it is. Now, there was a time when, when she had first got on and she was kind of hinting, she never actually said it, but she was kind of hinting that there might be some jealousy between Dumas being jealous of her or not necessarily working with her. That was kind of what was being hinted at. And I was like, now Dumas will never get an opportunity to get in. And you all right back there? She'll never be able to get in and, get this kind of time to kind of defend herself. Or, just to say what she says. And I was like, my time slot is also available. Because I want her to have the opportunity to be there and say what she want to say. There's people need to hear from both of them. Not to choose a side, just to know that they both there working. Okay. And I don't know if y'all remember, she called in one time. That was it. And remember at the end of the call, she was like, that's it? Oh, I thought you was going to be much rougher than that. Like, no, I just asked the questions. But she never called back. She didn't call before, and the invitation had been put out, and she didn't call after. And all I'm saying is, I'm concerned that she didn't take advantage of the many opportunities that exist to put her out. Now, one of the things Yvette said is, I don't really care about all the promotion. I just want to do the work. And I'm like, no, Yvette. You got to do the work and you got to promote. You got to do both. Because the work, from a political standpoint, it don't matter that you did the work if nobody knows that you did the work. But she didn't take advantage of that. So I'm concerned that Smitherman has potentially more name recognition. He's being pushed by that hardcore, hate-filled Republican part of the county. And that he's going to get out there and he going to win. And I don't remember if I had a conversation with Hilton or if we text and I was saying to Hilton, bro, you need to get Dumas on the air. And he said something, she'll call Lincoln Show or something like that. And I'm like, do you not understand that Lincoln is Team Alicia? And so if there is some conflict between the two, he gonna be in one camp as opposed to the other. What you call Lincoln Show and okay. All right, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned that she just don't push herself enough. And somebody said, don't start no mess. I'm not trying to start no mess. Look, that's just the truth. Y'all know initially there was some friction. Initially, there was some friction. I don't know who created the friction or any of that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I know it was there. And one side was willing to kind of talk and hint at it, and the other side was silent. That's the truth. That's the truth. 100% true. And I like Alicia. Like, I legit like Alicia. She makes me laugh a little bit because everything with her is the toughest battle in history. Like, you let Alicia Reese tell it. You ask her about her morning, and Alicia Reese gonna tell you, the alarm rang at 6 o'clock, and I got up, and I hit the snooze button, and I had to fight to get to the snooze button. But I hit the snooze button, and no longer than I hit the snooze button. It's like 8 minutes, and then the alarm went off again, and I hit the snooze. I had to fight to hit the snooze button. The covers wouldn't get off of me, and the pillow wouldn't get off of me, but I had to struggle, and I hit the snooze button again, and then I finally got up, and I stepped on the floor, and the floor was, it was a fight because the floor was cold, and I had to walk in every step that I took on that cold floor. My feet felt like they was about to freeze off, but I walked and I fought, then got to the bathroom, and I turned on the water, and the water was so cold. It was so cold, I had to struggle to brush my teeth with that cold. My teeth was freezing with the cold water. And then I got in the shower. The shower was so hot, I had to fight to get the right temperature of the water. And you like, hold on, so you got up and got a shower. You got up and got a shower. You hit the snooze button a couple times and got up and got a shower. But when you hear Alicia tell the story, everything was against her, and she had to fight to make it happen. I like Alicia. Look, you say what you want to say, but she can weave a story. She can make you believe it. And I'm not saying she's lying. She had to hit the snooze button. The floor was cold. The water was cold. Then the other water was hot. She had to do all of that. But she can take a story, and she was the victim, and she overcame like nobody ever overcame before. And that's not hate. That is just the truth. And I love it. Y'all don't understand. I like Alicia Reese. And I love to hear her stories. I love to hear her talk about it because everything is a battle. And it entertains me. But the point is, she is out there. She is letting you know that there are things going on. There are forces out here that are working against me. But no matter what come against me, I'm out here and I'm working hard for you. And I can appreciate that. And if more politicians like City Hall right now, Tamika Ware was just saying today, this is the quietest city council that I can remember ever. This is the quietest city council that I can remember ever. Only one that I can really think of that we hear from is Scotty. Scotty Johnson, the only one I can really think of that we hear from. Right now, I couldn't even tell you the people on city council's name. I couldn't even tell you their name. And they might be working hard than a mug. But if I don't know your name when it comes time to vote, if somebody else want to run for council in the next council election, start working now. Pay attention to what's going on council and be everywhere talking about what's going on in city council. Believe it or not, there are people who gonna believe that person is on city council because they gonna see you and hear you more than they hear the actual city council members. It's unbelievable to me that they are so silent. And I remember when they got elected, kind of putting it out there for some of them, because remember, I was on the air at the time, kind of putting it out there for some of them, like, hey, my show is always available to you. If you need to get a message to the community or just need to let the community know that you are out here working for them, if you see any issues that the community should know about, call the show. I will always give you an audience. Okay. All right, cool. Never heard from any of them. And I'm like, what are y'all? How do y'all not know that this is how you do this stuff? How do y'all not know that this is how you do this stuff? Angela says they're mostly green and trying to figure out the job. That ain't got nothing to do with calling and talking about stuff. They knew that this traffic blitz was coming up. Why didn't they call to talk about the traffic blitz? Why didn't they hit all of the news stations and all the radio stations and the community talking about the traffic blitz? You don't have to figure that out. You don't. All you got to do is do it. They doing this traffic blitz and, you know, they're going to be in the community. They're going to have cars because they, you know, and it's very important because people have been killed and we got to, you know, protect the people in our community. And so we're doing this so that the community is safe from bad drivers and, you know, the Reading Road is like a freeway and blah, blah, blah. But, oh, he or she, you know, wow. They giving us information. I just wanted to call and let y'all know that this is what happened in council last week. You know, we had a motion in front of us to do this, and you know, I voted for the motion because of this, or you know, just call and tell the people. But you're invisible. You're invisible. I hear and see Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. I hear and see her too. Scotty and Jan Michelle. But Greg, he's running. But other than that, man, y'all got to, if you know any of them, tell them they need to get out. I heard Alicia Reese on 700 today. She was on with Scott Sloan this morning, talking about how she fighting with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the fight is to get the next contract is going to be a good contract, and they're going to have to fight to get a good contract because that money, every time it's a bill, they want the county to pay, and every time money coming in, the county don't get none of it, and they going to fight to make sure that the county can get some of the money from Paul Brown or Paycor Stadium, and they ain't going to see none of that money, and it's a fight. And I'm like, yeah, that's an issue that they can get behind. They hear Alicia Reese talking about getting money for the county. Why not do that? Why not do that? Carolyn says you can catch them at bar 29, but people ain't going. Look, I could probably get in touch with all of them. But that ain't the point, of course, that I'm making. You can't tell the people come to bar 29. No, you got people out here who their minds ain't all in politics all day and all night. And they need you to get in their face and say, hi, I am so-and-so. I'm on Cincinnati City Council, and I'm working for you, or I'm fighting for you. You know what the most animated discussions lately have been? No. What have they been? What have they been? Because that's the key is, I'm not paying attention. Your regular run-of-the-mill person who's not a political head, they're not paying attention. But you know what we pay attention to? Stuff that you bring to us and say, hey, pay attention to this. The traffic blitz. What? Traffic blitz? What's the racial breakdown? Now, what if I had never heard that there was going to be a traffic blitz? I wouldn't be thinking about no traffic blitz and the racial breakdown. But somebody came to us, in this case, Scotty Johnson, and said, hey, they're going to be doing a traffic blitz. So now I'm focused. I'm paying attention. That might sound a little crazy or whatever, but you tell people, here's what's important. Pay attention to this. And then people who are kind of paying attention, they pay attention. Angela says, number 1, changing trick or treat. Number 2, some sports intramural teams they've created to compete against one another. I mean, even Black Radio would tell everybody who to vote for. But even, okay, let's take the change in trick or treat, right? I heard about that, but not enough to even really develop an opinion on it. I need to hear somebody say something. Like, I mean, even if it's nonsense, be out there. Let me know, hey, pay attention to what they trying to do with this whole trick or treat thing. They trying to do so-and-so with trick or treat. And then I'm going to be paying attention, like, what they trying to do with trick or treat? So-and-so told us they was going to try to do this. Like, if you know them, reach out to them and tell them, communicate with the people. Communicate with the people. If I was gonna run, I would be out there. Y'all would be like, is he on council? Why is he forever? Every event I go to, he's there with his name on his shirt, talking about so-and-so for council, and he's talking about the issues everywhere I go. But that's just me. I bet you miss Penny Night. I never understood Penny Night. Who want pennies? Never understood Penny Night. All right, y'all. I don't really have much else. To talk about. I want everybody, if you haven't voted, make sure you get out and vote. If you didn't see the video of the police officer shooting the guy in the leg intentionally, go check it out. We just put it up on WCPO earlier in the show. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out, and again, my only thing about that is, let's make that be the standard when possible. A big white dude is charging you with a knife, and you shoot him in the leg intentionally. Spread that around when things come up. Spread that around. Let me see. Other than that, I think that's about all I got, y'all. All hearts and minds are clear. All hearts and minds are clear. That's what they say at church. Y'all know I be at church all the time. That's what they say at church. All hearts and minds clear. All right. Make sure you check out Wyatt. Make sure you check out Wyatt. He'll be coming on. I believe he's on today at 5. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him. Anthony talking about penny night. As a kid back when penny candies were still around, I wanted them pennies. All right. What do you think about Quavo video? I don't know what and or who that is. So there was just no King and I this weekend. No, from time to time, are like he couldn't make it at a particular time, and then I couldn't make it so we couldn't make it work this week. We couldn't make it work this week, but we'll probably be back on Monday. We'll probably be back on Monday. I guess I haven't been to church in a while because I've never heard that. What kind of church did you go to? What kind of church did you go to? Episcopalian or something like that? I don't know that they say that in the Episcopal church. But at all the black churches I go to, when all hearts and minds are clear, and they tell everybody to stand up. And that's that. Ben says, I think they tried to shoot him in the chest, honestly. And you would. That's not shocking. Brent says, govern yourselves accordingly. That's another one of my favorites. Kenneth says, Amigos video. I don't know what that means either. Some friends put out a video. And is it not Quavo? What is it? I don't know these people. I don't know this stuff. I don't know what this stuff. Quavo. I don't know who or what Quavo is. Kamikia says, not Amigos. Hold on, I can read. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say. My pronunciation may not be the best, but I'm reading. I see, what does that say? Amigos video. I can read. If it's not Amigos, what is it? What is it? It says Amigos. I know I can read. I am somewhat literate. Jeannie says, I wish my mind was clear. Somebody else talking about I'm Baptist. Now, if you Baptist, you done heard all hearts and minds are clear. You done heard that if you Baptist. You for real ain't been to church like since you was like 3. Because I'm telling you, I've heard that. I grew up Baptist. Daddy was a Baptist preacher. We went to all kind of churches, and almost everywhere we went, when it was time for the benediction, all hearts and minds are clear. And everybody stand up. For whatever reason, they don't say stand up. They just, and everybody stand up. Nat says, you must be Baptist. Maybe the 3 Amigos. I don't. Yeah, you late. My body is about to be clear. Headed to Wasson Way in 12 minutes. I have no idea what that means. You going to Wasson Way to use the bathroom or something? I don't know what that means. Jeannie missed all these shows. Dozing, wake up at the end. If it's not, hold on. So how do you, oh my goodness. Hold on, let me put it up there again. Wait. Because y'all trying to clown me. Because I don't know. How do you pronounce that? It's on the screen. Amigos. How do you pronounce that? If it's not amigos, what is it? Y'all trying to clown me. D says amigos. All right. From Migos, the rap group, one of the members was just killed. Quavo is another member. Okay. The group is called Migos. Well, how was I supposed to know that? I mean, actually, I kind of knew that, or I heard that. But if the man put up the word amigos and I say amigos, how you gonna tell me that's not how you pronounce amigos? Don't get on me for saying it wrong. Get on him for typing it wrong. Takeoff Amigos was shot and killed here rapper. Yeah. The Tap group, the Migos. It's another, wait a minute. So I know about the rap group, but there's a tap group called the Migos. And they just, you know, they be tap dancing. I was not aware of that. I wonder if they could sue one. Which group was first, the rap group or the tap group? D says the group name is Migos, pronounced Quavo. All I'm saying, the man typed Amigos. I said what he typed. How many times wasn't someone's heart or mind clear? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Let me see. Did you see what I said? I said, yes, he misspelled it. We get it. Okay, let it go. I'm just reading the comments. Why are you trying to clown me? You be on Lincoln's show all on Lincoln Jock. Oh, Lincoln didn't mean this. Oh, Lincoln didn't mean that. Oh, Lincoln did. Oh, Lincoln that. You come over here being all rowdy. What, you want a piece of me? Is that what, you know what I'm saying? We a rumble or something? What? Be nice to me just like you be nice to Lincoln. Dang, that was Sheriff over there just being mean to me. Oh, he said he driving. Oh, so it's not a tap group. Maybe tap dancing. You know how they be doing. You know how they be doing. I thought maybe tap was coming back. Okay, I'm getting worried about him, man. The group is not no damn tap dancers. The man said it was a tap group. What I'm supposed to think? I know it was a rap group named Migos, but he said it was a tap group named the Migos. Shahira says, no, I completely disagree with him this morning, probably in the most pleasant of ways. But you come over here getting all rowdy. This is where we come to get rowdy. Don't be rowdy at me. Be mad at the person who told me it was a tap group. Be mad at the person who said it was Amigos. Not me. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I hope something amazing happens in your life today. Life-changing. All right? Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. My title is the King of Talk. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.